Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do project management as a virtual assistant. As a virtual assistant, at some point you may be hired to manage a lot of projects, to manage people. So you need to know how to use tools in order to do this. You can't do this from WhatsApp. You can't do this from your head. You need software, tools that you need in order to manage all these projects. And my duty today is to teach you how to use it, how to do that with your phone. Of course, I have the video of how to do it with the laptop. I will put in that video in the video description. Please kindly go through the link and see how you can help yourself. But for today, we are going to continue with phone. Now, before we continue, let me explain. Of course, you know that there are some projects that as a virtual assistant, your boss is undertaking that you need to help him to do. For example, let's say you are working for a real estate company and then they want to build a one real estate in Canada. Maybe they're in Nigeria and they want to build a real estate in Canada. So they employ you as a virtual assistant to oversee that project. So you are going to be the one to be in charge of the architect, the architect in the architecture in that work. So you're going to be the one to take charge in those who are bringing blocks, those who are roofing, those who are building, those who are buying this. You are going to be the one to coordinate all of them. And to manage that project, you need software. That's why today I'm going to be showing you how to actually do that from your phone. Remember, I told you that this course you can do it completely from your phone. That's why you're always giving you the video of how to do it with your laptop and as well how to do it with your phone. This will help you. Now, there are a lot of tools you can use to do project management, but in this class, I'm going to be showing you two. I don't want to do only one. That's why this video may be up to 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I want to explain everything so that you understand. So that when you don't like the first tool, you can use the second tool if it's not compatible with your phone. All right, so before we begin, please kindly help me subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I will appreciate you for doing that. Tell me in the comment section I'm ready to go, and then I will respond to you. All right, now let's go. On your phone, remember I said you come to your Chrome browser. I just click on Chrome browser. Remember again, I said in order for you to access most of these things clearly as if you are accessing them from laptop, put your phone on desktop side. Again, it doesn't mean that you can't access these apps from here, but I'm only simply saying that you can actually use your laptop. You can put it on desktop side for it to give you free movement. All right, so I'm going to put it on laptop. In case you don't know how to put it, just follow me as I teach you. So come to this three dotted line, I click on it, and then some of you may be seeing desktop site here, and then some of you may be either desktop site or desktop mode. In case you don't see it here, quickly click on settings. Click on settings, and then it will come here. Click on site settings, and then scroll down, and click on desktop site. And then you can now see request desktop view, request mobile view. You just put it there and return back. My phone is already on desktop site. All you have to do is come to Google and type Trello. So that is the first website or the first app that we are going to be using. For those of you who will be asking whether you can download it as app, of course you can. Go to Play Store and download it as app, you use it. But I prefer using it from the browser because it allows me to put it on desktop side. Why you may not be able to put it on desktop side on the app. All right, so let's come here and I will zoom in so that you'll be able to see. This is the app. I'll click on it. And then it now shows me, you can see that it's showing me very clearly. So all they have to do is sign up. So they're asking us to put our email and sign up. Let me zoom in so that you can be able to see. So the simple thing we need to do is quickly put our email here. So I just put my Express Tech Academy and then I click on sign up. It is free. So let it come. So it's now open. It just open us here. It's asking me if I want to continue signing up with my email or the email I just put, or I want to sign in with Google. Now, if you sign up with your email, they will send an email to your email. They will send a code to your email. You have to pick the code, continue from there, activate the account from there. But I don't like doing that. Most of you that know me, I don't like doing that. I like registering things online with Google account so that it collects all my data and don't waste my time. So I'll quickly click on Google. And then it's going to ask me which of the email on Google. I'm going to click on Express Tech Academy. That is the email I want to use. And then I click on continue. And then here we are. And then it's now telling us, oh, it has collected all our information. My full name is Express Tech Academy. This is the name of the account, of the Google account. All right, you can change it later if you want, but I want you to remain like that, so I can now click on it. So you can register with your name. Since this is practice, Right now, again, if you are working for anybody, while we are waiting for this to load, if you are working for anybody, right, you are not going to be the one to use your Trello. All right, you are going to the company that will hire you will have their Trello. All you have to do is they will give you access to their Trello. I invite you, like I'm going to be teaching you how to do it. Then you will now to be a manager in that Trello. So it's not your own. All right. So whether, of course, anybody that's hiring you will have a pro account. This one we are doing is a free account and it has limits to how many bots you're going to be creating. But the paid one that your company is going to be giving to you, it will allow you to do a lot of things. But I'm going to teach you everything. All right. So now it has opened, and of course, just preliminary questions before they log us in. He said, what brings you here today? Okay, so let me zoom in so that you can see. Organize ideas and work, track personal tasks and to do, manage team project, and then create automated. Please, you can choose all of this, all right? But I want you to skip. So I'll just skip. But of course, you can click on manage. It doesn't matter. All right. You just take it. But for now, I'll just click continue. And then you can see that we are here. Let me just click on, just wait for it, right? Just wait for it. Let me just click on here. Or what you need to do in this interface, we don't need it. So if you don't need it, you can see a plus sign, sorry, a time sign here. So let's use it to cancel so they can be able to take us directly to that interface. So we can click here. Let me accept cookies and then click here so they can be able to take us. All right, so we have canceled it and then it has bring us here. I'm just trying to zoom in and zoom out so that I can be able to see clearly what you're say. Go to your first dashboard. So we click on go to your first dashboard and then here we are. So let's click on next again and then click on next. All these things are just some of the things that are popping up to show you. They don't really matter because we don't need them. So let's click on done. And then here we are. This is how Trello dashboard looks like. Let me zoom in and I will explain. Let me zoom in and explain. So you can see that this is how Trello dashboard looks like. But this is not how it's supposed to look like because we are already, it's as if we are already in a distance. So let me return you back to the dashboard where how it's supposed to look. All right, so exactly here. This is how the Trello overall dashboard, when you log in, this is where it should bring you. If it didn't bring you here, please click on this logo where we have here. It will bring you back here. Right now, on this logo, you can see that we have what we call bots. We have templates, we have home, and we have Trello workspace. So let's go to this side. You can see that we have create and we have all these templates here. Now let's come to templates and then you can choose some templates. Let's say our project is under let's say our project can be under anything. Let me zoom in. You can see that these are the whole template. So if I pick this design like this, you can see I can just preview it and start using it. But I personally do not like using templates because it will stress me and it will I may not choose the templates that actually fit what I'm doing. So I like creating everything from scratch. And I also teach my students how to create it from scratch. So for this class, we are going to be creating it from scratch and not using any templates. So to do that, you can see we have here, and we have bots here. You can see that we have create here, and then we have my account. EA means Express Tech. Your own may be showing your name. All right. Now, to create a board, there's what we call board. Now, a board is like a board is like a place where you create that of course you know that this is just the surface of the whole interface. So let's say you have a project in UK, so you need to create a board. Under that board, that's where you manage the whole of that project in UK. Now, subsequently, your boss has another project in United States. You need to create another board for that project. So if you're having real estate project, like I was saying, you can create a different board where you manage all the individuals from that board. And then if you have another project, let's say a real estate again, you want to establish it in Australia. So you can just, I don't know why I'm calling Australia, but you can just, create another board where you can now manage. So with board is a place where you manage projects. All right. So you have to be creating different board for different projects. All right. So if for this course, we want to click on create. And then let's come back. You can see create a board, start with a template. Remember I said we don't want a template for now, so I can click on create a template, and then you want us know what is the title of that project. What is the title of that board? So the title of that board is real estate in Canada. For example, now I'm using Canada, and then the visibility is how do you want it to be? Do you want it to be on public space, or do you want it to be within the workspace or private? So I usually like it to be within the workspace, people who are working within that area. All right, you can put it on public, there's no problem, but you can put it on private, there's still no problem. But me, I will choose workspace. So I just allow it on workspace, and then I can see. Let me tell you, see something here. See this thing that is looking here. This thing you are seeing I'm checking. This is exactly how your board is supposed to look like when you eventually go there. So you can change the color. Of course, you can see that the background here is like a picture of a rock. So you can change the background color by clicking on this. You can see that the color have changed. You can click this. You can see that the color have changed. You can even leave picture. If you don't want to put picture, you can put color. You can see that the color have changed to this. Choose color. You can see that. Now, for now, I want to choose only color. So I will allow it on this color. And then once I allow it on this color, I will now click on create. Remember, any color you choose or any picture you choose will determine how the interface of your board will look like. Now look at the color I choose and look at how my board is looking like. So this is how a board is supposed to look like. Now let me say something here. A lot of my students usually have problem that when they click on a board, it will bring them here, but they will not see this thing. The most important thing here is to do, doing, done, and you can see that we have add another list. So if you create a board and it did not bring you where you see these three things or four things I just mentioned here, please, I want you to go back and create another board. All right, if you create another board immediately, it will come bring you here. So you don't have any issue with it's not working, it's not working, coach. No. All right. So if you're liking what I'm giving to you, please kindly help me subscribe. Tell me in the comment section I am an active virtual assistant. Please, some of you just watch me, you take this course for free and you don't just do these small things that will help me. Please kindly do it. It will help me a lot. It doesn't take data. Subscribing or liking does not take anything. Please kindly help me do that. Thank you. All right, now let's continue. Now, this is to do. To do, let me zoom in so that you can be able to see clearly. Now, to do means the things you want to do. Now, doing means the things you are currently doing. And then done means the things you have done. Let me explain in a different term again. Now, let's say, like again, in the first day, I was talking about to-do list, all right? Of course, sometimes you see me that I have this thing here, all right? It helps me to write some of my to-do list. If I wake up in the morning, I'll write all the things I want to do that morning. And every month, I write all the things I want to do in a month. I pick each day on, bring them down again and all of that. All right. So as a virtual assistant managing projects, what you have to understand is that you need to, let's say, you are managing a real estate company in Canada, for example. That's the project you are supposed to manage. So for you, to you, what are the things that were supposed to be done in order to make that real estate a success? Right. So what we need to do here is that you need to arrange all the things you were supposed to do. That's what we have to do. Then all when we arrange them, we now assign tasks to them. All right. So the first thing we need to do is let's click on add a card. So if you are doing there, number one, we'll buy land. So the things we're supposed to do is we'll buy land. So click on add card. And then number two is roofing. Number three is building. Number four is carpentry. All right, carpentry. And then number five is can be furniture, etc. So there are a lot of things that you are supposed to do to make that real estate, the whole of the real estate in order. All right. So I'm going to stop here because this is a class. All right. So you have already aligned all of this. And then now all you have to do is that from what you need to do is that you can now come back to this add another list. Pay attention. Add another list and click on add another list and you click let's choose buy land and click on add another list, and then you can see that where we already have add another list. Sorry, I'm not seeing. So okay, all right. So this is the to do. So just scroll like this. You can see that we have added buy land and all of that. Now this buy land is this to do. To do is a broad thing. All right. That let's say furniture. So inside that furniture, you still have people who will buy this, people who will do painting, people who will do this and all of that. So The to do is just a broad term. So the add another list is you simplifying that to do list. So let me simplify them again, and I put furniture. So all the things you are putting on to do, you still want to put them as add another list. Please pay attention. All the things you arrange as to do, you still need to add, you still need to write them as add another list. Right. So that's why I'm adding buy land, furniture, furniture. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I will write carpentry. Of course, I wrote carpentry from there. So I want to end here for now because I don't want it to be long. All right. So now to do, we have buy land, we have roofing, we have building, and then let me add building again, please. Building is important. All right, so now we have added all the to-do list from what we have here. So all we have to do is to further arrange our project, to further demystify what we are doing. We will now come here, and because of course you are the one managing, so this is what you need to do. So we'll now come here, let me increase, and then under buy land, we'll now add a card. So under buy land, who and who under the buy land, we have to demarcate it again or simplify it again. So under buy land, we'll talk about who holds the money or the banker. For example, we add another list, UK citizen. Then let's say we need documentation. We need fencing. Then that is it. Now under building, sorry, I'm under building, not buy land. Sorry. All right, so I did a mistake and put what I was putting under building, but I was actually trying to put them under buy land. All right, so what I'm simply explaining is that each of these to do that you need to do, you still need to break it down to all the people that will be handling those tasks. All right, so I mistakenly write them here, so but let's leave them for now to make this video not long, but I will delete it later. So under carpentry, I will now put, let's say, somebody who will pay, who will buy chairs, some who will buy what else do we need again? Maybe somebody who will buy beds, then somebody who will buy what again, let's say tables. All right, so like, right, so just add them like that. Then under this furniture, we can now put somebody, you just have to put a lot of things. I don't know whether I'm actually doing them the right way, but I'm not arranging them the way they're supposed to be. But of course you are getting the idea of what you were supposed to do, because under this carpentry, we have to write other things that concerns carpentry in that area. So that is how to arrange them. Now when you arrange them, you now start the main work, because here you are just arranging what the team is supposed to do. The team that's supposed to go and establish that real estate in UK or Canada rather, you are supposed to arrange what you are supposed to do, where they are to take up, and then the next thing you need to do after arranging them is to assign task. What do we mean by assigning task? Assigning task is the to-do list that we have here. We say buy land, right? Now let's come to buy land. Under buy land, I did not put it because I did a mistake to put it here, but let's choose building. Then under building, for example, and then we now see that, oh, we have banker, we have UKCC, although this does not concern building, but you know what I mean now. So you do have documentation, we have fencing. So who is supposed to do fencing? You now at the person here. So what you need to do is, you can see that on each of these things, on each of these add a cards, all right, there is a small icon here. This one you're seeing here, there's a small icon here on each of the cards, all of them. So all you have to do is, this gives you the privilege to edit it and add more things to it. So what you need to do is click on it, and then it will bring you to this interface. So it brings you here and show you open card, edit labels, and all the blah blah blah. I want you to open the whole card so that you can see it and do work from there. You can click on open card, and then you can see that this is how the card looks like. So this card is under documentation. That documentation is under building. So who is supposed to do the documentation of the building or the documentation of anything? So all you have to do is, now you have to write here, maybe let's say is John, for example. You can now say, John, kindly do this documentation within
all right, so within 7 days, all right, you are giving him instruction of what to do. You are assigning the task. You are managing that project from here. It's not a WhatsApp call. This is the tools you are supposed to use. All right, so we have put this here, and then when we are done, you can arrange them anywhere you want to arrange. Now, if you have anything you want them to do, maybe you have a project. Let's say, okay, let me use something here. For example, let's say you were doing graphic designing for a company. Let's say it's graphic designing they want you to do, and you want to assign it to Timothy. It's Timothy that's supposed to do that graphic design. So you just come here and say, Timothy that's supposed to do this graphic designing within 3 days. So under that graphic designing, he needs the picture of the person he's doing that graphic designing for, and he needs other information. So you can click on this icon here, this one you're seeing here, to import anything at all. Maybe import a document, import a picture, etc. Or the person who is doing this documentation for this real estate, let's say you need him to submit a document to the appropriate authority to authorize the building of this project during his own assignment. You can also upload that document for him here in this particular card. All right, and then do everything. Just once what I want you to do is that try to practice most of these things, and then when you are done giving him all the description and the instruction, you can click on save, and then that information is saved. Of course, it's now showing that John kindly do this documentation within 7 days, and then you can see edit. You can also edit it. Now we are just saying John. We have not actually assigned John to this project. So what we need to do is you can just come here. You can see date. So you can see if you say 7 days from now till that 7 days is how many days. So you can now give him the day. So from so day to so day, you choose the day. So let's say it's from January 13th, and then you can see this is the day here. So just this is the day. You can just put maybe Monday to Friday if that's the recurring. With this assignment, you should record every week. During that thing, you're supposed to do it Monday to Friday every week. You put it. If it's not, it's just a one-time something, you can just put it. If it's a daily task, you can put it like that. All right, so start due date. When do you want him to start the assignment? You can now choose it a day before, or you can choose 5 minutes before, and all of that, or you can even choose immediately. Now that is that how to assign the time and everything with that. Now this is the thing. Let me scroll here and show you something. Let me scroll here. Now if John receives this message and he's about to comment on it, I say, okay, thank you, I'm going to do it. He will comment on it, and you see the comments here. You too, you can also continue chatting with him directly from this comment and activity. So it doesn't mean it doesn't need to be chatting you on WhatsApp, or it doesn't mean to be doing it anywhere. So when he receives this, he can chat you and say, okay, thank you, I'm going to do it. And then during along the line, he has an issue with any of the thing, he can now message you and say, oh, I have something. You say, you did not send me this, and then you send it through here, and then you update the card from here. So this is how to do it. I will do one again so that you'll be able to understand, right? Now, but we have not talked about how to add John to this particular. Now let me show you how to add John. So let's click on add, and then you can see that you can now add labels, you can add dates, you can add all of this. And among these, you can add members. So we click on members, and then under members, you can now put that person's email. All right. So let me put FMD Dennis, and then when I put FMD Dennis, the number is showing that it is not here. Do you know why? Because I did not teach you from beginning. I purposely omitted it. When you log in into Trello as you're trying to manage that account, what you need to do is that all the workers, all the people working in that project, you need to invite them to Trello. So you need to invite them to the whole of the Trello, so that immediately you type FMD Dennis, their names will actually appear. Now to do that, we will show you that shortly, but I don't want to wait for me because there's a reason why I did that. All right, so FMD Dennis is not part of it, and that's not why the result is not showing here. So you need to invite him. Now if assuming FMD Dennis is here and you put fmddennis.com at gmail.com, then the name is going to come up with press send. Trello is going to send an email directly to FMD Dennis and tell him that you have been assigned a task from Trello, and that Trello is owned by Express Tech. It's going to be explained, all the information that you put here is going to be explained to that person. This is how to use Trello to manage projects. Please pay attention. We are almost done with Trello, but pay attention. All right, so this is how it is, and then of course you just put all information here, and that's all. Now let's go back. Let's say under this carpentry, we are going to talk about who is going to buy the bed. So we just click. So let me do it. Who is going to buy the bed? All right. So we just click on tables. Let's use tables. You can click on tables, and then it's going to automatically open, and then open the same interface again. You have to go through it again, fill the dates, fill this, add, click on add, and then click on members and assign that with them. All right. Now let's go back. And then this is how we are like this. We are now done. We are now done, all right, with everything. So you have to arrange them, and all of that. Now let me now teach you the second thing before we exit from here. Now we have created the to-do. We have created all the sub things you're supposed to do under the to-do, and then all you have to do is, for example, let's say this table here, maybe you assign it to FMD Dennis, and FMD Dennis is done with that task. All you have to do is you can, well, immediately he begins the project. Immediately, let's say under this buy land, you have assigned all the tasks to them, and immediately they begin buying land and they begin doing the documentation, begin doing everything. What you want you to do is you can hold it and move it, or let's click on move, and then you can now put under the list to do, you click here, and then you can now put under doing, you can click on doing and click on move, and it's now moving to doing. Now let's like it again, and you can see that this is roofing. What I mean is that if you want, let's say under this buy land, for example, they have started buying the land. You people who you have assigned all the tasks to, they have started the project, is going on already. That sub project is going on already. What you need to do is, once the project is going on, you need to move the buy land from to do to doing. How do you do that? Again, let me recap. You can now come here and click on buy, and then when you click on buy, sorry, it's not click on buy, please hold, click and hold it, click and hold, and then this thing will pop up like this, and then you click on move, and then under move you can see list to do, and then you can click on to do, and then under do, the project is going on, so it's doing, so you click on doing, and then the position is position 1 or position 2, anyone, you click on move. And then when you check on that doing, you can see that buy land has been moved from to do to doing, showing you that the project is on. Now when the project is done, you come to doing, and then you click it, and then you move it, and then under list of doing, you click it, and then you click on done, and then you click on move. And then when you check here, sorry, you check done, you can see that buy land has been done. So this is how to use project the Trello to manage your project management, to do your project. All right, it's pretty simple, but the way I've been explaining it, you might find difficult doing it because it may be your first time. All I want you to do is rewatch. That's what I always say, rewatch, and then you will be able to understand it. Don't rush to say you don't understand. If you don't understand, rewatch. Even when I started, it wasn't easy for me, especially with phone. All right, with laptop, you don't even need to click and move. You just need to hold and track. That's why you need to watch the video of how to use it with laptop that I put in the video description. If you have a laptop, it will be nice for you. All right, so that is that to that. And then even here, when you are done with this banker, you can click it, sorry, click it and hold it like this. Sorry, click it and hold, and then move it, and then you can now put it, whether you are done or anything, you can now click on done, and then that is it. The project has been done. So this is how to do it. The first thing you need to do again is arrange what you want to do on to do, then create sub things under that thing. All right, as add another list that we have, add another list here, and then the next thing is to assign the work to each person, put the person's email, and then that is that. I do it for all of them. I have not been able to do for everything that I did here, but your own, you're going to be doing for all of them. Now, if your boss asks you for what is going on with this project, you don't need to be telling him with mouth. You can clear and tell him so that he knows that if somebody is supposed to be roofing that building and the building is not being roofed, he know who to hold responsible for it, not you. Of course, because the thing is there and you can click to see who is responsible for that task. This is how to use project management to manage your task. So let's go back, and then you can see that this is real estate again. I can now click on it, and then you can now show you. So if I come back again, you can see that your bot, we have my Trello bot, the one that was automatically created, and that the real estate that I want. If I want to create new one, I can click on create new bot, or I can come here and click on create new bot. So anytime you want to create a new bot for each of these things, you have to restart them over and over again. So if you want to Now, what I mean is that if you want to create a different board for different projects, all you have to do is that you have to come here, click a new board, and all of that. Now, Trello gives you, if you are using a free account, you can, if you are seeing this video, please kindly do the practice immediately. And if you already create the account, do the practice immediately, because the free plan will expire and you may not have access to use it again. But like I said again, if you are being hired, the plan they are giving to you is going to be paid and you're going to be using it effortlessly without any hitches. All right, so that's how to do this. So now the last thing I want to explain is, now if you come to Trello, the very first thing you need to do when you come to Trello is for you to actually invite all the team members to here. So now let me do that invite and quickly do the rundown practice again so that you see. So you can see that we have members here. You can click on members, and then under here it says invite to workspace. So we are going to invite everybody. You have their email already because you are the project manager. So as a virtual assistant, you are the manager. You have all their details. So you can now come here and put FMD Dennis. Now FMD Dennis, this is it. Already I have an account with them. All right, that's why it's showing like this. But let me choose another one, another email that may not be here. And then this is the email, showing me email. The other one was showing me my full name because I have a Trello account with that email. That's why it's showing me that full name. But if you put only the email that is still new to it, you can see that we have here. Now, the person who you are inviting might not actually need to get an account with Trello. He might not need it. It's just for him to, the email, that's all. Right, the information will be sent to him on his email. However, it is very simple for every team member to actually register on Trello. It's pretty simple and it's free for them. Them that they are not doing it, using it to do anything, is free for them. So, but there's no need for that. So you see, this, go to Trello, join this Trello from here, one member, and then send invite. That invite is going to be sent to my, okay, that invite is going to say member was invited. That email was going to be sent to me, and I'm going to okay it. And when I okay it, I'm going to comment. Let me do the okay from here. Sorry. Let me choose, let me go to my email and I will show you how it looks. So this is my email, and then I will have to change it back to this email here. And you can see that Express Tech Academy invited you to their workspace 72. So you can now click on go to workspace and you can now go directly to their workspace. You can see that I don't have an account. I don't have a Trello account with this email, but it has taken me directly here where I'm going to see everything that is there. It's as simple as that. It's very simple, and the person is going to see all the information and start work. So let me come back here and come to my board, and then I will now come to, let me just click on anyone here, and then let me click on add and then click on members, and then here I'm going to put brand owner. I can see that immediately I type brain, the email has already come up to assign this task to brain, and I can click on this, and then you can see that sorry, okay, it has been sent already. It has been sent already, but let me click on it and do it again. Brain owner, and I can see that this is it. A card member, it has been assigned correctly to me. So it's as simple as that, and the email is going to be sent to me again for confirmation. So that's how to use Trello to do project management. It's pretty simple. All right, now I'm going to recap again. If you want to do project management, the first thing you need to do is log in or sign up, then create a board. After you create a board, you now create your to-do. After the to-do, you create add another list, and that add another list is under each of the to-do, and then under each of the add another list, they are called cards. You can now assign the task to each of them. All right, so assign task with their email, attach the email there. When you are done, you can now simply of course press send, and it will be sent to them in their email. All right, now the second tool to actually do virtual project management I want to teach you, which is also very good, is called Asana. Now Asana is one of the most important, one of the best tool, not most important, one of the best tool that a lot of companies do. So most of these jobs that you see me post on the Express Tech Academy community, that's why I'm advising you, please pay for that certificate so that I can be able to add you to where I will be putting posting jobs for you to apply. It will help you to get a job. All right, so those jobs I used to apply, I used to post, you, some of them you see that they will say you must know project. If it's a project management job, you must see that they will tell you, most of them will always come with, you must know how to do Asana. That's why I used to put Asana, and most of them will also call Trello. All right. So to do that, I will have to come to Chrome again, and then under the Chrome, I'll let me click on the new browser. Click here, and I'll put Asana. Now this one I will not actually waste time here because the video is already long. So I'm going to just show you how to register and then how to navigate it. Asana interface is the same with Trello. All right, so I'm just going just some small difference I want to point out to you. All right, so I want you to do the practice, even though I'm not going to be in teaching it in details. I want you to do the practice and send me screenshot as you have been sending me. So I click on Asana, asana.com, and then it brings me to this place, and then it's asking me to log in. It's asking me to log in or get started. Click on get started. Get started with your email or Google account. Click on Google accounts, and then I choose Express Tech Academy, and then it's going to click on continue. All right, so let's wait for it to actually load. It's trying to get all my Google information so that it will not waste my time to begin to put my name, surname, and all of that. So it's currently opening. It says, what is your full name? Express Tech Academy. Yes. If you want to insert the picture, you can do it. What role do you have? Maybe I'm a manager. Which function? Or let me click here. There should be a virtual assistant here. So you can choose virtual assistant or executive, or you can choose freelancer, all of this. But I choose manager. Please let me choose manager, not director. Manager. Then which function best describes what you do? Just choose anything here. Let me choose design, and then that's all. And then you can choose menu. You can choose design. You can choose education, plenty like that. But I just leave it like that. What do you want to use Asana for? I click on it, and then creating planning is for project management. So you click on project, portfolio management, and then you can click on continue. These are important. Now they ask you, these are all the tools that can be found on your Asana, so you have to choose which of them. So email is good, Google is good, I like them. I want Zoom to be there too. I want how they call Notion is good, Canva is good. Just put Zapier is good, Hotspot is good. Just put as many as you want to. All right, you can now click on continue. So under continue, we can now put describe the work you want to get done. We don't want to describe anything, please. We don't want to describe anything because this is already taking us time. So just click on skip for now. All right, then here the email address. I say invite to teammate email address. We don't want to invite anybody at this point, but it's just the same thing I was talking about from the Trello app. So you can just invite as many people that you want to invite, right? Invite them. That's your teammate, the people who are working under you. Invite them here so that when you are signing the task, it gives you, once you put their email, they will come up, you will sign it immediately. So you can do that. But for now, let's click on continue. And then before you continue inviting members, I want to skip for now. And then of course, this is the interface of Trello. Sorry, Asana. So this is the interface of Asana. It looks pretty the same with this thing, but this is not the real interface, please. Let me go back, carry you back to home, and then this is home. Right now we can now see that this is the interface. Here also we have let me zoom in. We have some of these as templates. All right, we have some of these as templates and all of that. Now you can see that we have workspace. Let me take you back. Sorry, let me take you back. Let me click on this three dotted line. You can now see that we have workspace, we have portfolios. This portfolio is coming here because we also choose portfolio as part of the thing that we want to be doing. So my task, inbox, and etc. So our major focus here is to create a board. But here it's not called a board. Here is called, let me click on create and see the name. Here is called project. All right, it's called project. So we are managing a project. So to create a new project, to start managing that project, we can click on create, and then we click on project, and then it's going to open the project for us. Now let me light and see how it looks. It's not giving me a exact thing that was supposed to be giving me. So let me play and see. You can see we have blank project. So click on blank project. What's the project name? Real estate in Canada. That's the project name. And then my workspace, you can put it either on public, private, etc. So you can now put it on continue. When I click on continue, they're going to be asking me all this information. Will I be needing them? Of course, I'll be needing them. Click on create project, and then the project is going to be created for me. is the same project that is on that Trello, almost the same thing, right? So this is the Asana. So you can see that we have list, we have board. Let me click on overview, and in the overview it shows us the complete thing here. From here we can see that we have project description, we have project tools. This is confusing for now, so let's return you back to the list because you understand the list more better. So under this list we now have that add a list, add section, we have assignee, due date. You can see that this one is straight to the point. So what we need to do is can click on add a task, and I will add building. So after I click on this, and this has been added. All right. So once that's been added, under here, under this building, you can see add task under building. You can see it here, add task under building. I can now click on it, and then I can now click under that building. I can click fencing, and then I can now click on the next one. I can click, let's say furniture, let's say furniture. What am I writing? Let's say furniture, etc. So that is that. And then if I want to create another to do, which we create, we can now click on title, and then we can now name this. We can now name this as, sorry, we can now add a section. We can now click on what would I want to put, carpentry, that will put the other side. And then you can now click add a new section. You can now click on furniture. Just put as many things as possible, click on new things, and then that is it. Now under the carpentry you can now click on task again, and then you can now put bed, for example, new task. We can now put table, etc. So all these things, you can see that under carpentry you have the task. This one's are under the, that's why you see, this one is arranged serially. You don't have to be going this side, this side, this side like Trello. So that's why a lot of companies prefer this Asana. All right. No, I'm teaching the both because I've seen a lot of companies who are also using Trello. So it's pretty simple. Now, under this bed, for example, if you want to assign someone, you can see assignee. You can see something like looks like somebody here. You can click on it, and then when you click on it, you can now put that in there. Brain owner Dennis. Brain owner is not here, so that's why. Let me just put FMD Dennis, click on the email, and then if the person is not here, that's why it's showing invite. So you can now click on invite, and then from here you can now send an invitation, and the thing will be sent directly to that person. But then listening to something, we have not actually explained what, oh my god, we have not actually explained what that person will be doing once immediately we add. Of course, FMD Dennis is now in charge of the bed. All right. So, but we have not actually explained what that person will be doing, the time he has for the project, and all of that. So, what we need to do is that we can click on this, and then due date, we can put the date. You can see the date here. When I click on due date, you can put all the dates here. If it's to schedule, there's a schedule option here. You can schedule the job, when it's supposed to start, and all of that. I want you to practice this so you can be able to know how the listing looks like. All right, so let's scroll. You can see that this is how everything is. But let me click on this. It opens. If I click on bed, it opens like this. Let me highlight it. You can see that we have description. We now have description here. This description is where you can now describe what and what FMD then is supposed to do under that bed, just the way we did it from Trello. And then add more projects to here. And then of course you can add subtasks, some of the subtasks under there. And then you can also do this. Now remember also that you can add one or two people to do one task. It's just to add their email. More email, that's all, on that same thing. So that's how to do this. So under this fencing, you can just click on fencing, and the information is open for you already. Now it has no assignee, there's no due date. The project is just real estate in Canada, and then of this you just put all the information. And then if you want to attach any document, we have a document icon here where you can click, upload it, or bring it from Google Drive, and then or whether from Dropbox or even all of them here, and then ensure that everything here is okay. And then the person, once you put the person's email, like I've put on FMD Dennis, the email is supposed to be sent to me. So now let me check if that email was actually sent to me. If the email was not sent to me on the FMD Dennis, it means that there's something we did wrongly. So can I put the Express Tech assign you a task bed. I can now see, I can come here, I can now view my task, and from there I will do the task. So whether I have Asana app or not, so far that my email was used I'm going to see everything and I'm going to use it. So that is how to do that. And of course, if you are done, you can now click on, there's no place to even click on save. Now, if you want to show your boss this work, is also to invite him to this workspace. He will see everything. When you invite him, you can make him an admin or a manager. Of course, if you are being employed, they will be the one to handle this app. So they will see everything you are doing. All right. So if you want to create another project, you can now click on create and then the project will be created. So this is how to do project management completely from your phone using Trello and Asana. Please kindly help me subscribe to this video, like this video, and I will appreciate you have done this. Please, the last part I'm going to be teaching you is how to do automation.
Now, in this last part, I'm going to be teaching you how to do project automation. Or what is automation? So automation is you automating your task or automating task. Now, let me explain it in simple terms before I do the practicals. What I mean by automation is that, let's say, of course, probably sometimes you apply for jobs online. Immediately you apply for that job, you receive an email immediately, instantly. Oh, we have received your application, we'll get back to you soon. That email you received immediately, it may be very long message or something, very short message. It's not that immediately you fill the form, someone else immediately writes a message to you. All right, another one is that maybe on Facebook, Instagram, and you come across something that they say they're doing advertisement free. I mean, let's say a book, you click on it, and then they say before you get this free product, you need to put in your email and email, your phone number, and then you do put your email and phone number, and immediately you receive an email that your project, the book has been sent to your email. From your email, you click on it, and then it takes you to their Google Drive where you download the book, or it takes you to another website where you download the book. All these things are called automation. So you have to automate it in the sense that, for example, let's say you are selling a book, for example. So you advertise it on Facebook, and then you want to get people's information. Immediately you click it, and then you add your name and your phone number. The phone number and the email and your name goes to the person who is selling that book, and then the book is automatically sent to you to your email. From your email, you have to click it again and go to wherever he's hosting that book for you to download it. This is how things are done. It's called automation. So sometimes some of you, the most common example is some of you that do WhatsApp automation. Sometimes you private chat a WhatsApp business, somebody that has WhatsApp business account, and you tell you we are not available, we will respond to you soon. All those messages that automate, they are called automation. So as a virtual assistant, you need to know how to automate tasks, right? Because it's not everything that you will be doing. For example, let's say you are a virtual assistant for a brand that is very big. You can be receiving a lot of messages, like 10,000 messages, 1,000 messages in a month. How do you do that? You need to automate some of your tasks. So I'm going to be showing you shortly, it's not going to be up to 10 minutes, how to actually do automation, and it's going to be very simple. Now, automation, you can use a lot of tools, right? There are a lot of software you can use to do project automation, but then there is just one that I'll be teaching you in this course. It is called Zapier. Now you can also use HubSpot that I taught you the other day, to HubSpot to do project automation. So there are a lot of tools. You can use Zoho, you can use a lot of them. There are a lot of them that are integrating it, but for today I'm going to be teaching you how to use it using Zapier, and I don't want to waste time with this part. I want to go straight to the point. So now let me click on my Chrome, and then I click here and I type Zapier. Now all these things, of course, like I said, you can download them as app. So I can now come here. This is the Zapier, of course, this first one here, sorry, this second one here. Click on Zapier. Of course, this logo you are seeing here. Then let's wait for it to open, and then once it opens, we now continue. All right, so it has loaded us to the interface of Zapier. So let me zoom out so that I can be able to see. Let me zoom out. So you can now ask us to start for free, sign up with Google account, or you can put your email and sign up. So I want to sign up with my Google account. I click on Google account. Of course, remember I said you can also use your email. So I'll put Express Tech. Just use any email and then click on continue. If you have a good network, this thing should be very smooth, right? Shouldn't be wasting time. Now let's answer some few questions before it locks us inside. So it said, what is your role? All right, my project manager, all these things. I'll just choose customer support, or let me just put project manager. And then what is your company size? 1 to 49. You can choose a higher number, please. I did not choose a higher number. Choose a higher number. Is a top apps for project management. Now let me tell you something. Zapier has over 7,000 apps integrated in it. So there is no app that you want to use to automate together that you cannot find on Zapier. So you can see that they have all of these things here, but we don't want to use any of these things. We don't want to allow all this, select all these apps. We want all of them in both. So we click on skip question. All right, so it brings us to the interface of Zapier. So we want to quickly create our Zapier. So we'll have to now zoom in for you to understand. And then from here, you can now click on here. And then here, you have to check. Now you can see that we have Zaps, tables. We are not in concern with this, right? What we want to do is we want to create a Zap. Now here, to create a platform, the board where you can now automate your task is called a Zap. Remember, in Trello it was called a bot, in Asana it was called a project, but here is called a Zap. So to create that, we click on create, we click on Zaps, that's automated workflows, and then we have two things here, the trigger and the action. Now let me explain something. Trigger is something that you give to them to do, the first thing you give to them to do, and then the action is after they do it, what happened. Let me explain again. The trigger, let's say about that book I was talking about, the trigger is the book. Let's say they find your ads on Instagram or on Facebook. So the first, if they click it, it takes them to the form where they fill their name and their phone number. That immediately they click, it takes them to that form. That form is what we call the trigger. They immediately fill the form and click on submit. What should happen? An email should be sent to them with the book. That email is what we call an action. So trigger is the first thing they do, and then action is the second thing they do. Now, and the second thing that happens after the trigger. Now, it's not only two things, right? You can connect a lot of apps. For example, after filling that form, an email is sent to them. They can click from their email. You can take them to their Google Drive. From Google Drive, you can take them to their Excel, etc. So you can connect a lot of apps together. For the purpose of the simplicity of this class, I'm going to be focusing on just two, all right? But then subsequently, you can be seeing more videos on that in this channel. That's why you need to be subscribing to this channel. Please kindly help me do that if you have not done that, and tell me in the comment section I am still following. Thank you. So to do that, one thing we want to do is we need to set the trigger. We can click on trigger. Let's click on this trigger like this, and then it shows us that we can actually choose any app. Again, I said that there are thousands of apps, more than 7,000 of them, that are all integrated on this app. All you have to do is just create them, just choose them, and they will come here. Now, before we continue, let me explain something. The Zapier does not create, it only automates. Zapier does not help you to create anything. It only helps you to link some of the apps that you'll be choosing together. So for example, you create a Google, if you need a Google form where you need their names and email, you have to go and create that Google form from Google form that I showed you. I showed you in the second day of the class where I created a Google form. I showed you how to create everything, right? So you have to go and create that Google form and make it there, so that from here you can now link it, so that Zapier will help you to automate it in as simple as that. So to do that, all we have to do is let's choose Google form, because we need their name and information. For now, I'm assuming that I've created that Google form. All right, so I want to now bring it here. So I'll now choose Google, or you can just choose, you can just type form. You can now see Google form. That's if you don't find the app there. So now we have the Google form here, and then you can see that these are the information of the Google form. The first thing we need to do is that I want to sign in to the account that has that Google form in it, and this account may not be the account. It may be the email you are using on the Zapier. It may not be the email. For me, it is not. So I will just sign in, click on sign in, and it will take me. I will now choose FMB Dennis, and then it is now going to link that account. I'll click on continue. Zapier wants to access your Google account, and then that form has been automatically created here. So that form is under this email, so I can now use it. So we have to choose the trigger events. So to choose the trigger events, let me zoom it in, and then I'll just click on it, and then it now shows us. It's not asking us. So immediately I click on trigger events, it's not asking me what do I want, new form response or new upload. It's new form response, so that when somebody click, the person should film a response. There should be new response, like the form should be available to everybody, every new person on it. So we can now click on it, click on new form response, and then it's going to open, and of course it showed us that it's open. All we have to do is let's continue, click on continue, and then we go to the next one, which is the configuration. The configuration is where we are now going to choose the form that we have created from our Google form. So we have to click on here, and then this is the form. So these are all the forms I have on that thing. So there are a lot of them here, so I just want to choose any one, but I did not create anything, right? I just want to choose any of the forms I have, right? So if you have created any form there, it will show here, so I can just click on it. Remember, Zapier does not create, it only automates. All right, so let me zoom in. Okay, I've choose the form, and the configuration is showing that it's ticked. All right, all I have to do is continue, click on continue again. Once you choose the form, it's called agreement form. The form is here. I click on continue again, and then on this continue is going to actually bring you to where, of course, there are 3 steps to actualize or to create the trigger. So the setup, the configuration, and the test. So you are testing to see if it will work. So if it will not work, it will tell you from here that it will not work, right? So come here so that you can be able to know what you did that is wrong and fix it. So let's click on test trigger, and then of course I've clicked on test trigger. Let's wait for it. Okay, the test is also having a 2 tick. Now let's come to this. You will see that if it's working, you can see that the Google form here, the Google form here, let me zoom out because I don't know what. Okay, so let me zoom in. Now the Google form here, you can see that it's having a green tick showing you that the form was connected properly. Now if it is not connected properly, you see an X in red showing you that there is something going on. So you now go and fix it properly. Just how to fix it is just to come back to this setup, click on setup configuration, and then continue to move until you fix it. Now the next thing we need to do is called action. So we can now click on action, and under action we want them to receive an email. We don't need to type email is here. We can click on Gmail, and then under Gmail let's now set it up. And even the Gmail account also, we want it to be under FMD Dennis. So I can now click on sign in, and then under the sign in is going to take me here, and I'm going to click on Dennis. That is the real Gmail that I want to use. Meanwhile, the email I use in signing up is expresstechacademy.com, right? But then the email I'm using that have all this information is in FMD Dennis. So all these things are done here. Okay, so we can now click on action events. So to click on action events, you can click here, click on action events, and then here they are going to ask us, click on action event. They are going to see that we have add label to email, active email, create email, this is not what we want. Let's go up, delete email, remove email, reply to email, send email. So we're interested in send email, so that when somebody fill that form, an email should be automatically sent to them. So to do that, we click on send email, and then we click on continue. We are done with the setup. So the setup, we are now going to configure it. So all these things, you are going to configure them. All right, so from here we can now set up, do the configuration. All right, so the video is becoming long, so I do not want to continue so that it will be able to actually hinder some people. So all I want to do is I want to end here, but I want to explain something. Of course, you can see that we have done Google form, and we have done. All right, so we have come to this particular point where we have the configuration here of this configuration here. So we need to configure it, and when we configure it, the only thing we need to do is just to test it. Of course, you can see here to continue, finish, require fields. So I want you to do the practice. I don't want to finish it. All right, of course, those of you who will be watching from the one on the laptop, I completed everything, but here I want to leave it for you to do the practice, or you can even visit that video, because this video is long already, and that's why I don't want to continue with it. All right, so that I can minimize us time and give you it as an assignment. All I want you to do is just fill out all this form. So you can say to who, choose and pick that form. Click on that plus sign there, choose it and pick that form, and then the CCC, all these things, you just write some random stuff here. BCC, the form from that's the email that I have that Google form on, that the email you have that Google form on, and a reply to the form or the person who is filling that form, just click on it. You see the options to choose, and then the body of the message, oh welcome, thank you. Okay, this body type here, can leave it plain, and then this body you can now write, you are welcome, this is your book, blah blah blah, and all of that. And then here is where you can read an attachment. Here an attachment is where you can now bring in that book. Either you can put the link of that book to your Google Drive, where if he clicks on the email it will take him to your Google Drive, or you can simply upload that book here so that he can download it directly from your email. And then of course we have labels. All these things are not things that label does not matter. A signature is all the signature that I taught you from the second day of the class, so that if they receive the email they will know that the email is coming from you, right? So you can do them from here. So and all of that. So when you are done filling all this information, you can now click on to continue. So if you click on the continue, you can see that this Gmail is supposed to turn to too good. If it does not turn to too good, it means that you did not do it well. So this is, sorry, not too good, please, green good, like we have on Google Form here. So if you do it properly, it will show Google Form, and then you can now do it. Now how do you now go ahead to automate this? Immediately you are done, it's pretty simple. That Google Form that you created and you want to use, just use the link of that Google Form and run your advertisement or do anywhere. That form is already connected to Zapier, so wherever you paste that link, the form will work. So it is not, there's no place here on Zapier where you have to copy any link here. What you, the trigger of that link is what you will pick. All right, so that is it. And then if you want to click and create any, of course, let me zoom in and show you. We have Untitled Zap here. Click on it, and then you can see rename. So you have to rename the whole of this Zap because we didn't name it. All right, so you can now name it at let's say real estate again, for example, and then that is it. So when you are done, if you want to create a new Zap, you can come back. You can come back. For example, your changes have been saved. Yes, we are leaving this site, and then we are coming back here. So from here you can see that I've created one before. Then we have real estate here. All right, sorry, we have real estate here, this particular one here. So anytime you want to come and click it, you can come here and click it. It's showing unfinished because we did not finish the one I'm giving it to you as an assignment, but it's supposed to be here. So if you want to create a new one, all you have to do is come here, click here, and then create a Zap again, and the process continues like that and like that. Now to manage some of these things from a phone actually takes time and patience. Do not rush to say this thing is not working. I know that it's with phone, so you have to be very meticulous and you have to be very patient. So thank you so much. This video was long, but at least I've been able to cover a lot of them, but please kindly forgive me, but at least you have learned something. Kindly help me subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I will see you in the next class. Thank you so much.